All right, we are back. All right, so this is the part two, so to speak, and I'm gonna break it up just for the fact of. So this is still episode 15, but I'm gonna dive a little bit more into my side of the fence because I like to do that stuff, and talk about my successes. Oops, and wins during this little first soiree into being a coach and being a mentor and making these new transitions within KLV photography and what it really meant and means as we kind of go through this and we update you guys on what it means to expand your company and manage a team. I think managing a team is really important. These skills of learning how to communicate the thing that you do to somebody else, and purely on the basis of that alone, without the context of us running a photography company, I think this will still be valuable to you in that eventually you're going to want to scale your business. If you're smart, you're going to want to scale your business to where you're not always working for it, because you can't work forever. You can. That's the old school way of doing business for sure. You can work yourself into the ground, but I really feel that this life is what you make of it. And so, speaking from the belief that you can have a life that really empowers you, excites you, that you cannot wait to wake up to. And part of that is creating a business and then learning how to have it run for you, right? Have it run by itself almost. And you just be a manager sitting back and reaping in the benefit of your hard work. And so I'm sure that I'm not the only one. A lot of online entrepreneurs, I'm not going to bore you to death with that perspective on life, but that is where I'm coming from today. And you know what? I have to say, I'm super thankful that we're doing this kind of format for the show. I love it. Kicking it off with Kevin and I in the beginning, it really sets up the tone for what I'm going to talk about, because I have no idea what I'm going to talk about until I actually sit down here and talk. So I think it's better that way. Like I said, Get in the Lab is super raw, uncensored conversations about building a business together. So how do you like the new setup? I'm digging it. I hope you're digging it. We got new things going on here. We got a little Spider-Man over here because I'm a big fan. Nice chalkboard over here to let you know what the hell I'm talking about. This G that I painted like a G, I must say. And yeah, you got to keep it organic with a succulent over here. I'm really digging this little setup here. I'm digging it. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. What should I add? I've got Gundam here, and I've got a couple other things that I could add, but what do you think? Updates that I don't think we really dove into. Kevin and I are going to be going to Big Bear to relax finally, and try to fill up our cup a little bit, because it's been... I feel like 2014, we had things going, we had things systemized, and we were really pushing it. We were really fired up, ready to go. We were really executing on a bunch of things. We were just going. We were like a well-oiled machine. And then somewhere along the line, about 2 weeks ago, we kind of ran out of steam. We kind of got a hink in the system. And thus, season 2 was born for the show. And thus, we made the decision for me to no longer shoot with Kevin Levu Photography. And we're in that transition period. And it's very, very, it's challenging, exciting, frustrating, a little scary, a little nerve-wracking. But all underneath that, I'm very excited. So there's a lot of emotions going on. Oh, the feels, they are coming out. And it's okay because of that overarching message that, yes, we're going to be moving in a direction that makes us both happy. And sometimes when you're a partner with somebody, and especially in business, sometimes you feel obligated. And I talked about this last week, and that's it can be a double-edged sword, right? Because it's great to feel obligated in the fact that you want to support your partner and your business that you've created, and you want to maintain that. At the same time, that want and feel can make you ignore your true happiness that you're not telling anybody, right? So all from the context of, yes, wanting and gaining and living the life that you really want to live, right? And being brave enough to pursue it. That's what we're doing. And it is a challenge, but that's why it's exciting, because of that idea. Like we are being brave enough, courageous enough to make these changes, because yes, they are scary. They are all these things. They are all these feels. But it's important. These are changes that have to make. And like I said earlier, you've got to go through a little bit of pain to grow, growing pains. So, I'm digging it. I'm down for it. A couple things that I wanted to say about expanding your team, the things that I've learned, if I could just kind of point them out to you really quickly, the big ones anyway. It requires more of you. I was kind of skipping to the happy part of like, yay, no longer shooting, and I'm not going to be like, in pain every time I come home. And I was thinking about that. But I still have to come out and mentor and shoot and all that stuff with John until I feel that he's comfortable to truly take my place. And so that requires, like we talked about, a bit more energy and, just kind of a different approach on things, because you're saying it a lot more. Actually, you're doing less, but you're saying a lot more, and you're thinking about a lot more, because you have to find ways of explaining what you know to somebody who's not you, right? And so it's hard to remove yourself from you, if that makes any sense. To get outside of your head and show and tell somebody, this is how you shoot, or this is what we're looking for. But I must say, I'm very impressed. I'm very proud and very happy that John is, stepping up to the plate and doing this, and despite him being in the position that he's in. So I really appreciate you, man. If you're watching this, I very much appreciate you. I'm very much thankful to you. And we're going to do good things. Okay? So another thing that I wanted to kind of touch on with the coaching, is the ability to being coached. And so I'm learning how to communicate, because people receive information differently. And fortunately, John is very similar to me. It's a matter of doing and feeling and realizing what this feels like to shoot details, what this feels like to shoot candidates that are good candidates, what this feels like to shoot ceremony and things like that. And despite, remove the context of shooting, and you take coaching in its rawest form and that rawest message, where this is what it feels like. This is something I'm trying to pay attention to, because it's the feeling. It's the, in the driver's seat kind of feeling that you have to inevitably be able to put your coachee in the seat of. They need to be there. And so in terms of business, and, it's not coaching, but it's a matter of, can you put your customer, your client, your team member in the driver's seat and have them feel, everything that's going on. If you can do that within your business, you're in a very, very good state, my friend. And so that's something I want to do within KLV, within what I'm doing, is being able to empower people to be in that driver's seat, right? In order for us to really build the company that we want, which is not like, we're not trying to get like 10 employees or something like that, but we want to be able to empower those who work with us to be in that driver's seat. And for anybody watching the show to be in that driver's seat, I want you guys to be in the driver's seat and to understand the feeling. And so I'm going to try to paint the picture as best as I can so that you can get that feeling and then apply it to your life. and execute upon that feeling. So yeah, for me, it wasn't until I was actually in the driver's seat, like, oh, okay, this is what it feels like to do X, Y, and Z. And so you kind of have this kind of muscle memory with that, thing, with that action, with that feeling. You also build a memory to the feeling of whatever, and it's amazing how much shooting weddings can correlate to, just basically running a business. So that was a pretty cool thing that I noticed, and I'm going to try to keep paying attention to those things. But yeah, it's just a lot of things to think about, and it's exhausting. But hold on. Okay, running out of steam here. One last note before I let you guys go. I feel like I've rambled on. I was telling you guys that I'm kind of out of steam. We're going to go to Big Bear. We're going to try to refill our cups, right? Just kind of reserve, because the season is not over for weddings, and it's certainly not over for our business, but I do need to adjust and just kind of take some R&R. The moment you feel like that, because it will come, I really want you guys to, this is something I found to be very useful, is to find ways to play with it. Okay, so I always come very close to really being irritable and really giving up attitude-wise. I'll still do what I need to do, but the attitude isn't there. And it really brings everybody down. If I'm unwilling in my attitude to do something for the company or even for my own things, it's just like a black plague, and it affects everything in a really negative way. And so the best way to kind of curtail that natural human kind of thing where you're just tired and, you're not in the best of moods, and it's not, it's not really in your capacity to pull your shit together and be smiley and bubbly and things like that. But have fun with it. Have fun with it. Find ways to play. If you can play, with your attitude, with your tone, expand your perspectives of play, not just playing a video game or play like playing with toys. Find ways to play in your tone, in your attitude. It's so much more better, and it's going to bring you through even when you feel like you don't have that energy or you don't have it in you. And that's kind of what I feel right now. But as I find ways to play, I find those secret little energy pockets within me to bring it out, to do the show, to have an engaged conversation about business with Kevin, even though I'm tired of talking about business like we do all the time. Or even to teach somebody what I know like the back of my hand. Finding ways to play is going to take you a long way. All right. So that is all I have to say on today's episode, on the part 2. Not too long this time. I hope it wasn't too long. I am slowly losing my voice because I've been talking too much today. But thank you so much for watching. And you know what? Keep hustling. Keep loving. This is Get in the Lab. We'll see you next time. Oh, and if you liked this video and you're watching on the YouTubes, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. Grow this channel, and subscribe to get more shows every single Wednesday, okay? And come on over to getinthelab.me for all the show notes, extra things like SoundCloud, bonuses, things like that. All right. Oh, and if you're listening in iTunes, please leave a rate and review. We really appreciate that. We read them all the time. They motivate us to keep going and keep the channel growing.